I call to order the regular meeting of Lakewood City Council of February 11th, 2013. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Murphy.
Here.
Ellen. Wickman. Here. Quinn.
Here.
King. Here. Wilson. Here. Barraway.
Here.
Johnson. Paul.
Here.
Coop.
Here.
Roybal.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you, and as always, I would like to thank everyone who chose tonight to take part in their local government by coming out tonight live in chambers or by watching us at home, either on television or live streamed on our website. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silent prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Will the clerk please read item 4 into the record?
Item 4, Proclamation African American History Month.
This is an item that was requested by the Advisory Commission for an Inclusive Community, and in that regard, I would ask Elizabeth Doxey from the committee to come down, and we will present the proclamation to her, and I would ask Council President Barraway to read it into the record.
Right. Whereas African American History Month celebrates generations of African Americans who struggled with adversity to achieve full citizenship in American society, and their contributions affirm the importance of Black history to the American story. And whereas African American History Month originated as a celebration named Negro History Week, held during the second week of February in 1926. The week was first announced as such by Harvard historian Carter G. Woodson and was received with overwhelming support and endorsement from the community. And whereas, in 1970, the week-long celebration was expanded to encompass the full month of February. In 1976, the U.S. government officially recognized Black History Month during the nation's bicentennial, and President Gerald R. Ford urged Americans to seize the opportunity to honor the too often neglected accomplishments of Black Americans in every area of endeavor throughout our history. And whereas Lakewood's Advisory Commission for an Inclusive Community and the City of Lakewood support the celebration of and education about African Americans' contributions as fundamental to American history, and this proclamation reaffirms the city's commitment to an inclusive community that embraces diversity. Now, therefore, on behalf of the City Council and the people of Lakewood, I, Bob Murphy, Mayor of the City of Lakewood, Colorado, by virtue of the authority vested in me, do hereby proclaim February 2013 African American History Month in Lakewood in the City of Colorado. Bob Murphy, Mayor.
Thank you. It really is my great pleasure to deliver this proclamation to Elizabeth, who is chair of the Diversity Education Committee of our Advisory Committee for an Inclusive Community. As you all know, the City of Lakewood was honored in 2011 to be an All-America City and also received the first ever All-America City Diversity Award. So you all had very much to do with that. I want to thank you for bringing this forward. So congratulations. Please say a few words. Thank you.
Just briefly, as Mayor Murphy said, on one of our several committees, for our Advisory Commission for an Inclusive Community. It consists of just volunteers who are just really interested in learning about the city and acting as an additional arm link between City Council and our community. And specifically, our diversity education crew really takes to heart the inclusive community and the award for an All-American City. So we do our best to try to promote education and the celebration of diversity in our community wherever possible. That's it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I would like to mention that our Advisory Commission for an Inclusive Community takes their responsibilities very, very seriously. Members of that commission attend every single city council meeting, and there are some of you here tonight. I would ask you to please stand, wave, and we appreciate, look at that, what a turnout. We appreciate to look over both shoulders. We appreciate everything you do. Thanks for your commitment. As I am working my way back up to the dais, I would ask the clerk to introduce item 5, and Mayor Pro Tem Diana Wilson is going to take this one, being a Scout mother herself.
Item 5, presentation, Denver Area Council of the Boy Scouts of America, 100th anniversary.
It's my pleasure to welcome the Denver Area Council of Boy Scouts of America, and I just wanted to say that I am a committee chairman for Cub Scout Pack 537 at Patterson International, having 3 Cub Scouts myself, Nick, Joey, and Jared. So I'm very pleased to introduce Denver Area Council to give us a report on what's happening in scouting in our community. So thanks for coming.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. I am August Roberts, a Star Scout from Troop 537 in Lakewood. We are sponsored by Our Savior's Reformed Church, located at Jewel and Garrison. As Scouts, every meeting, we remind ourselves of the Scout oath and law that we pledge to live by. At this time, I would like to ask all Scouts and Scouters, both past and present, in the Council chambers to stand and join me in reciting the Scout oath.
Wow. You got us outnumbered.
Scout sign. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country and to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. Please join me in the Scout law. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. 2. Those in the audience may be seated.
That was cool.
Thank you, August. We do outnumber you. That's very good. And I'm surprised that everyone remembered their Scout oath and law. That's very good.
No lip syncing.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. I'm coming here as a different role. You know me as your park planner, but tonight I am Ross Williams, the Scoutmaster for Troop 537. And it's my privilege tonight to represent over 50,000 youth and 10,000 adult volunteers of the Denver Area Council of the Boy Scouts of America for this report to the community. This year marks the 100th anniversary of the Council, and we're reaching out to all the communities that we serve. The Boy Scouts of America was chartered in 1910 by the U.S. Congress. Every year since then, we have provided a report to the nation to highlight the positive effects of the program. Likewise, for the past several years, the 5 Colorado councils have presented a report to the state legislature, and that occurred last Friday. This year, to highlight the 100th anniversary of scouting in the Denver area, I have been asked to present this report to you. Parents, volunteers, and scouts all know that scouting is a way of life. Because of that way of life, our organization has a rich history, a thriving and vital community today, and a vision and mission that will carry us into the future. Along our path, we can be proud of the contribution that scouting has made to this great city and our country. The future begins with our youth. As we celebrate our rich heritage, we reaffirm our commitment to our future leaders. Who are we? With more than 1 million adult volunteers in local councils throughout the United States and more than 10,000 here in the Denver Area Council, the Boy Scouts of America helps its 2.7 million members to be prepared for life. In Lakewood, the organization serves approximately 8,000 youth with almost 500 adult volunteers through 44 charter partners. The value of the program of the preparation lives in the heart of every person involved in scouting, and it helps inspire a lifetime of character and service. Who we serve. In Lakewood, there are 584 boys ages 6 through 10 in the Cub Scouting program in 23 packs. There are 360 boys ages 11 through 17 in the Boy Scouting and Venture Scouting program in 15 troops. There are 53 young men and women ages 14 through 20 in the venturing and Sea Scout programs in 4 crews. And yes, we do have a Sea Scout crew here in Lakewood. There are 6,777 boys and girls in elementary through high school age in the Learning for Life character education programs at 15 schools in the Lakewood area. And there are 32 young men and women ages 14 through 20 in the Exploring career-based programs in 2 Explorer posts. What do we do? The Boy Scouts of America and the Denver Area Council prepares young people to make ethical and moral choices over their lifetimes by instilling in them the values of the Scout Oath and Scout Law. We are prepared for service. The BSA prepares young people for service by providing opportunities for them to help their communities through service to others. Collectively, the Scouts across the Council gave more than 109,000 hours of volunteer service in 2012. And that's a value of almost $2 million in today's volunteer market. Locally, major service projects include Good Turn for America and Scouting for Food. Many local troops and PACs look for volunteer projects in our parks and open space areas, from fish habitat and creation and bridge replacement in the Greenbelt to trail maintenance in William Frederick Hayden Park and cleaning of schoolyards and adopting drainage ways. We are prepared for leadership. The Boy Scouts of America prepares young people for leadership by giving them the skills to take responsibility and teaching by example. For example, the Eagle Scout is the highest attainable rank in Boy Scouting, and Scouts must demonstrate proficiency in leadership, service, and outdoor skills at multiple levels before achieving the Eagle rank. In 2012, there were 636 Scouts who earned the rank of Eagle Scout in the Denver Area Council. The larger number this past year was because it was the 100th anniversary of the Eagle Badge being presented in the United States. In addition to the 21 life skill merit badges required, each Scout must complete an extensive service project that he plans, organizes, leads, and manages before his 18th birthday. The average number of hours spent on an Eagle project is 130 hours. We are prepared for learning. The Boy Scouts of America prepares young people for learning by mentoring youth to set goals and work to reach them one step at a time. The Boy Scouts of America has built partnerships with ExxonMobil, NASA, and other key organizations to develop curriculum in the fields of science, technology, engineering, and math, and to encourage young people in considering a career in those fields. For the past 40 years, the Boy Scouts of America has conducted student career interest surveys and worked with businesses and organizations to offer firsthand job experiences to enhance the students' financial success, career readiness, and college studies. Promoting physical health and well-being has always been a foundation of Scouting. In 2012, the Boy Scouts continued the formal initiative called Scout Strong, which seeks to ensure that Scouts and all young people are healthy in mind, body, and spirit. The Boy Scouts of America also team with the President's Council on Fitness, Sports, and Nutrition to engage, educate, and empower young youth to adopt a healthy lifestyle that includes regular physical activity and good nutrition. In addition, the Boy Scouts of America launched a special Life Skills Patch Award to Scouts who have earned the President Active Lifestyle Award. We are prepared for adventure. The Boy Scouts of America prepares young people for adventure by encouraging them to abandon the sedentary lifestyle, live healthier, and enjoy the great outdoors. More than 13,000 Scouts attended our council's 2 permanent camps, Camp Tahosa near Nederland, and the Peaceful Valley Scout Ranch near Kiowa. In addition, many Cub Scouts attended day camps throughout the council, including one here at Bear Creek Lake Park. Scouting goes beyond teaching outdoor skills. The program instills respect for the environment and ethical use of natural resources, including 11 life skills badges related to conservation. Our country faces number of challenges in the future. The Boy Scouts of America is helping prepare our nation's youth to face and overcome those challenges. While most people avoid obstacles, the Boy Scouts of America teaches scouts and venturers to face them head on. As we look at a new century of scouting achievements and instilling the values of honor and integrity in the youth in our program, in turn, our community will look to the youth involved in scouting to lead us all forward into a bright future. The Boy Scouts of America will continue to ready those youth to become leaders of strength and character, leaders who are prepared for life. Again, I would like to thank you for your time tonight. I would also like to thank you for all your past and future support of the scouting program. And on your desk, you had a small token of our appreciation. At this time, I'd just like to introduce a few of the scouts that I know in the audience. That's the council patch that has been awarded this year, and then also the pin is for our 100th anniversary. I am Scoutmaster of Troop 537. Can I have all the boys from 537 and adults from 537 please stand? Yeah, that's a few. And then I would like to have each of the other troops that are present here. You may sit down in one troop at a time. Can we introduce who you are and just stand up and say where you're from and what troop you are. Start over here.
Two boys from Troop 18. Right here.
Where do you meet?
We're in Lakewood, right off of Dartmouth and Essex.
Okay.
Troop 567, we've got members here. We meet at the same building. From Troop 814. No, because our Cub Scout pack was 418. We're chartered at St. Joseph's.
From Pack 419, we meet at Green Gables Elementary School.
One more.
Pack 537 from Patterson Elementary School.
And I'm from Troop 748, Faith of Christ on the Mountain Church on Green Mountain.
And I noticed there is a Girl Scout back there. Thank you for your time tonight.
Ross, thank you, and thank you all for coming out. Ross, I know this is something that you've been committed to for a long, long time, so thank you for your service as well.
Yes, I've been in this for a few years, I believe 25 now.
25 years is a long, long time, so congratulations to you. And thank you all for coming out. We appreciate when the Scouts come out for their citizenship badge, for example, to come come to the City Council meetings, but we appreciate seeing you anytime, so thank you all. Okay, on to public comment. This is the point in the meeting where the public is invited to address City Council on items that do not appear on the agenda. All comments should be directed to the City Council. So I ask, as always, that particularly with all the Scouts in the audience tonight, that we observe the decorum of City Council chambers and refrain from applause or audible support or discord with the speaker. There is, as always, a 3-minute time limit, and the light will. There are 3 lights on the podium down here. It'll be green for the first 2.5 minutes, yellow when there's 30 seconds remaining, and it'll turn red at the conclusion of 3 minutes, at which time I'd ask you to wrap up your comments. I will start by reading off the names on the roster who've indicated desire to speak by signing up, and then open it up to anyone else in chambers that wishes to speak on any non-agenda item. Sure.
You know what, I just wanted to tell the Scouts that you, of course, are welcome to stay for the entire meeting, but if you don't want to stay for the whole meeting, now's a good time to go.
Whoa, you don't have to ask them twice, apparently. I'll take, right. I'm going to wait just a moment. We'll let the folks, give the folks some time to leave here. Right. Okay, we'll just let that door close, and then Kathy, you're first. Kathy Kentner. Followed by Lorna Fox, John Fox, and Charlie Abel.
Good evening. I'd like to start by thanking the mayor for the suggestion to put my thoughts from the Ward 4 Saturday's meeting into writing and submit them to all of you. At the Ward 4 meeting on Saturday, a resident asked about campaign contributions and our current laws and state laws. Rather than reply with a misleading statement implying that Lakewood as a home rule municipality can regulate all areas of campaign finance and elections separate from state law, I will quote state law and city policies and procedures regarding the types of regulation that can be considered. Colorado Revised Statutes 145-116, Home Rule Counties and Municipalities states, quote, any home rule county or municipality may adopt ordinances or charter provisions with respect to its local elections that are more stringent than any of the provisions contained in this act. And although, as Mr. Cox has pointed out to me, the law is silent on whether or not we can adopt less stringent laws, it's clear that we cannot, based on the fact that the state law specifically states home rule municipalities can adopt more stringent provisions. And if state law were not enough, our own Lakewood City Council Policy and Procedure Manual states, quote, a home rule charter does not allow Lakewood to preempt any state rule or regulation. Currently, we have a problem in that, well, many of you were on council and mayor. Lakewood adopted a campaign finance ordinance that in part is less restrictive to the state law. Currently, our ordinance does not limit the sources of campaign contributions. The list of sources partially includes anonymous contributions, corporate donations, foreign citizens, and even foreign governments. Because we do not limit the sources of contributions, a candidate might choose to accept contributions from all of those listed, plus some more. I'm confident you all fix this in your new ordinance and that we will follow state law, our own policy and procedures, as well as recommendations from the Colorado Municipal League. This concludes tonight's Kathy's Campaign Finance 101, but I'd like to ask you to all stay tuned because I don't quite have time in the 3 minutes to address an important issue. All of this is a little bit of a moot point because in Lakewood, we have no adopted, written down, available to the public process for accepting or hearing campaign finance complaints. Once again, it should be clear to all of us in Lakewood that Lakewood does need to follow state law and its own policies and procedures manual and cannot make any rules or regulations in regard to election and campaign finance that are less stringent than state law. I'm sure, Mr. Mayor, that you did not mean to be misleading on Saturday, but just didn't know some of these facts. Thank you again for your suggestion to come here tonight, and I look forward to seeing the new ordinance soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy, and I would also recommend that you put your comments into the record and for the subcommittee meetings as well. Good, thank you. Lorna Fox, please.
Lorna Fox, Ward 3. I'm not a public speaker. As some of you do, I read the newspaper every morning, and last Wednesday I read in the Denver Post that Councilman Wickman had asked a city employee for help with his personal iPad, one he uses not only for city business but personal business, of course. When he turned the device on, an image appeared on the screen that was either, quote, pornographic, explicit, and vulgar, or, quote, a picture of a scantily clad celebrity, quote, depending upon interpretation. Since the time the incident was discussed at the annual City Council planning session and at last week's study session, there has certainly been a lot of buzz in the city about it. No one but Councilman Wickman and the employee saw the image, and of course pornography is partly in the eye of the beholder. Whether we believe what he said or what she said, the incident shows incredibly poor judgment on Councilman Wickman's part. It is his right, of course, to have everything, whatever he chooses, on his personal computer. And I do believe it is possible for someone with even minimal computer skills to keep frequently visited websites from popping up or to prevent their appearance in the first place, especially in situations that might be offensive. Councilman Wickman offered a rather weak apology and has said through his attorney that the issue should rest with his constituents. I hope that since he probably will not choose to resign, his constituents will speak loud and clearly on behalf of workplace decency and employee protection. Our city deserves no less. Thank you.
Thank you, Lorna. John Fox.
Mr. Mayor and City Council members, thank you for letting me speak. During the last election, City Council election cycle, Councilman Wickman again saw fit to contribute about $24,000 to a candidate from Ward 3. Whether that money ensured the outcome or not is open to conjecture, but certainly I feel it is something City Council should look at to see if this is how we want elections to go in the future. Now comes another issue involving Councilman Wickman. This is the incident that Lorna just spoke about. Even he admits it was inappropriate on his part to display the image of a scantily clad female so that a female employee could see it. Clearly it was upsetting enough for the employee that she reported it to her supervisor, and according to the city resources manager, the image was a fully exposed nude. It was pornographic, explicit, and vulgar, in quotes. According to rumor, Wickman has now hired an attorney to ensure that no disciplinary action is taken against him. If true, this seems to imply that he is willing to file a lawsuit against the city if the city seeks some punitive action against him. If it is correct that no city council rules were broken, perhaps city council should come up with some rules that would address areas such as iPads and other behavioral issues that reflect negatively upon the city or city council. If you do so, I would ask that you include campaign financing as well. Whether the city decides what the city decides to do regarding this matter, whatever the city decides to do, I would encourage the citizens of Ward 4 to think very clearly and carefully before they cast their next vote next election cycle. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Charlie Abel.
Good evening, Charlie Abel, Ward 1. I see both my Ward 1 council people are absent. They must have known I was going to be here. I do want to take a little bit of time to thank the Lakewood Police Department. A couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago nearly, I was tagged. The CenturyLink box in my front yard was the subject of a graffiti artist's efforts. And the Lakewood Police Department and Angela did a great job following up on it. Angela called a couple of times to get the specific details. Agent Larson showed up, photographed the graffiti, and fingerprinted the 3x5 cabinet. To what good, I don't know, but I was impressed with their response. Less than 48 hours later, at a city council retreat at the pricey and luxurious Garden of the Gods Club in Colorado Springs, a number of you folks said we don't have a graffiti problem. It's fairly surprising to me. You cited a number of statistics showing lower reporting of the crime than in past years. That may be due to a number of things, including people just getting frustrated with reporting the same old crime time after time, or fearing they're going to have to pay for the cleanup. Statistics are very subjective. You can say what you want. And whether you want to ignore the problem or whether you want to mislead us, graffiti is a problem in Lakewood. Just ask anyone with a tagged fence, a tagged gas pump, or a tagged CenturyLink cabinet. It isn't pretty, it's a problem. Or perhaps you folks regard it as public art and are willing to subsidize it. That might be a diversion. Put up a wall out in our public arts district and let them have at it. Repaint it periodically. But in any case, your reasons for ignoring it don't help us fight what is, after all, a crime. An unattractive crime at that. And equally unattractive is the idea that such an obvious problem doesn't exist. Thank you.
Thanks, Charlie. Anyone else in chambers wish to comment on any non-agenda items? No, it came up on Friday afternoon, too. Yeah. Jim, welcome.
West 12th Place, Lakewood, Colorado, 80215. I've known Dave for about 4 years. I do his website. I have to agree that his technical elevator doesn't go to the top floor, but I think that's true about most of you guys. So, but you know, I've worked closely with him. He gets along with me well, which says a lot for him. And I've never seen anything like that on any of his machines, and we've talked about it, and I think he's very penitent about it. And you know, I mean, you know, he apologized for it. You know, I don't know, should he bow deeper or something like that? I don't know, how many times do you have to apologize for something? I think he feels sorry about it, and you know, wish it didn't happen, and I'm sure it won't happen again. He won't leave his iPad around. So, in reference to his spending his, I'm glad he actually helped Roybal get on the city council, because I think Roybal represents a constituency in our population that could use a little bit more representation, owing to the fact that I'm one of them. And yeah, we didn't talk about the fact that he also volunteered to donate a little money recently on a one-for-one matching, a public project. I'm not going to mention the name, but a lot of people know about it. And he's also working on another project with another school, and trying to make it easier for them to make improvements to their school by doing a one-to-one matching. So, you know, where he spends his money is often in his own community, and that's a pretty honorable thing. I tend to keep my money myself, so I think he's a pretty philanthropic individual. I think he made a mistake, and I wanted to bring a big pile of stones so that I could say to you, you know, he who has not sinned could be the first one to throw the stone, but I'm sure the officer would have taken unkindly for me bringing a big pile of stones. So that's it, folks.
Thanks, Jim. Good to see you. Anyone else? Come on down.
My name is Greg Kelly. My address is 2334 South Union Court. We started our evening talking about diversity and the city being a city of inclusion. I would strongly disagree with that based on my dealings with this council. I don't think you tolerate people that think differently than you. Mr. Wickman is a conservative. I know that. I've seen him at the meetings. I mean that literally. I don't believe you people like people that think opposite of what you want them to do. If they don't stand in line with you, they're bullied. I believe what happened with Mr. Wickman and his computer, unfortunate, but I don't think that's what this issue is about. I suggest to the people of this city that they look at this closely. This is a political issue. The desire is to get Mr. Wickman out of the way. That's all this is about. He's apologized about this. That's unfortunate, but I believe this council is taking advantage of this situation in the seamless side of what politics is about, the part that this country is tired of. So what I would ask you to step up and move past this issue. and honor the man and what he's done. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, with that, I will close public comment. Any response from anyone on council to Tom?
I just have to respond to Mr. Abel's comments. That's just an outright misrepresentation of the discussion at the council retreat. Nobody said that graffiti does not exist or should be ignored, or that it's not a problem. The discussion was that we're addressing the problem at this point through various measures that we're taking. And nobody has denied that graffiti is going on. There are certainly spikes in graffiti that particularly take place in the warmer, when the weather is warmer. That's certainly true. But we do take graffiti seriously, and we have been addressing it. Our police department has been addressing it and will continue to do so. And so I just want to make clear that this council does take that problem seriously. And there was no one at the retreat who said that graffiti was not a problem or that we should ignore it. That's an absurd statement. Absolutely absurd. Thank you.
Councilor Roybal?
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to redirect here. Just want to make sure that everybody knows that we do have a graffiti problem. And we'd like to see if we can get it addressed. That's why I brought that up at council retreat. We want to see if we can work together to see how we can bring the graffiti level down. And even though that it is coming down, we'd like to see it even come down further. So that's my point.
Thank you. Anyone else? I'll just make a quick comment in response to Ms. Kentner's discussion of campaign finance. I was going to announce this under the mayor's report, but I'll preempt that with one of the things that came out of our annual planning session was 2 council subcommittees that are going to be looking into a couple of very important issues here in the city of Lakewood. One is campaign finance, and as she sort of hinted, the rules have changed a little bit in the last year and a half in terms of what home rule cities are or are not allowed to do. So I've asked Cindy Barraway to chair the committee, and there are 4 other city council members. Each of the 5 wards is represented, and they're going to simply take a comprehensive look at every nuance and every aspect of campaign finance. They will be taking public testimony, public input, and the meetings will begin this, I don't want to preempt you, begin this Friday with sort of an organizational meeting and then start taking testimony thereafter. So again, a comprehensive look. And I'll mention the Ward Boundaries Committee under my report. Anyone else? All right, we move on to the consent agenda. The use of the consent agenda has been made to expedite council action. It contains both resolutions and first reading ordinances. Resolutions are items of a routine nature, and members of the public will have an opportunity in a moment, and I know there's some folks from ACIC that will want to comment on the first item, to comment on any of the proposed resolutions. First reading ordinances, and we have a number of those tonight, appear on the agenda only for the purpose of setting future public hearing dates and ordering the newspaper publication of the proposed ordinance. So therefore, no public comments will be heard this evening on first reading ordinances. The public will have an opportunity to comment on them during the public hearing as scheduled tonight by City Council. Any council member may request an item on the consent agenda be removed for separate discussion and action under general business. Will the clerk please read the items into the record?
The consent agenda consists of items 7 through 18 inclusive. Item 7, Resolution 2013-7, amending the number of committees and reducing the number of members of the Advisory Commission for an Inclusive Community. Item 8, Resolution 2013-8, establishing projects and project funding levels for the 2013 Capital Improvement and Preservation Program, Neighborhood Participation Program. Item 9, Resolution 2013-9, accepting a commissioner's deed from Jefferson County to the City of Lakewood for the conveyance of property along West Cedar Avenue between South Kipling Street and South Hoyt Street. Item 10, Ordinance O 2013-1, repealing Chapter 17-14 of the Lakewood Municipal Code relating to floodplain management and readopting and amending as a new Chapter 14.25 of the Lakewood Municipal Code and establishing the penalties therefor. Item 11, Ordinance O 2013-2, amending Chapter 14.15 of the Lakewood Municipal Code relating to stormwater management. Item 12, Ordinance O 2013-3, amending Section 6.01.010 of Title VI of the Lakewood Municipal Code pertaining to animals and adding Section 6.05.015. Item 13, Ordinance O 2013-4, amending Sections 9.80.010, 9.80.020, 9.80.025, 9.80050, 9.80.060, 9.80.80, 9.80.090, 9.80.100, and 9.80.140 of Chapter 9.80 of the Lakewood Municipal Code pertaining to abatement of nuisances. Item 14, Ordinance O 2013-5, repealing and reenacting Title 16 of the Lakewood Municipal Code relating to subdivision. Item 15, Ordinance O 2013-6, repealing and reenacting Section 2.01.020 of the Lakewood Municipal Code regarding service on more than one border commission, and repealing and reenacting Chapter 2.16 regarding the Planning Commission and Board of Adjustment. Item 16, Ordinance O 2013-7, imposing a temporary moratorium on the licensing, permitting, establishment, or operation of any new marijuana enterprise as defined herein pursuant to Amendment 64, approved by Colorado voters at the November 6, 2012 election and codified at Article 18, Section 16 of the Colorado Constitution. Item 17, accepting the minutes of the Advisory Commission for an Inclusive Community Executive Commission meetings of November 7th and December 5th, 2012, Advisory Commission for an Inclusive Community Full Commission meeting of November 14th, 2012, the Lakewood Liquor and Fermented Malt Beverage Authority meeting of December 13, 2012, and the Lakewood Planning Commission meeting of January 23rd, 2013. And item 18, approving the minutes of the special city council meeting of January 14th and the regular city council meeting of January 14th, both 2013.
Nice job, Margie. Do you rehearse those when you have a long one like that? Nice job. I do want to mention before I open public comment, particularly in relation to items 10 through 15, those 6 ordinances, there's a lot of amending and repealing and reenacting going on there. And what that is, it's kind of a necessary step. It's part of our brand new zoning ordinance rewrite, and we've got to amend, repeal, and reenact the old before we can institute the new. We're doing it now because, Mr. Cox, the referendum period has passed, the charter mandated referendum period has passed, right?
That has passed, so the zoning code is legally in effect, and then there's a period of time in the zoning ordinance itself, a sort of a ramp-up time, and April 1st marks the actual implementation date of the ordinance, so we're using that window in between to take advantage. And if I may, just on one of those items, because it seems pretty significant from the title, and that would be number 14, Ordinance O 2013-5, repealing and reenacting Title 16 relating to subdivision. Truth of the matter is there are only a few changes in there made necessary by the zoning ordinance. But one of those changes adds a section or two, and so all of the sections get renumbered, and rather than changing each one of those through an amendment process, we just repealed and reenacted, but that will have all of the changes marked, so you'll see what exactly is new.
Some would call this the sausages portion of lawmaking, but yeah, but it's necessary. And what else was I going to say here? Oh, for council's benefit, we'll have Kathy will have Travis Parker, our planning director, make a presentation to us in the meeting on the 25th about these matters?
Well, actually,
No.
before the meeting, before the next meeting, before second reading, both Travis and Jay Hutchison, our Public Works Director, are putting together a written memo to outline what all these changes are so that you can review it and tell us what you'd like to see in terms of more explanation. If you want presentations on each one of these, you can. We're happy to do it, but tell us what you would like to see from us. So you'll be seeing that in the next couple of days.
And then item 16, the imposing a temporary moratorium on the marijuana establishments. Tim, you'll be giving us a presentation on the 25th.
That's right.
Okay. All right. We'll open up public comment on the proposed resolutions in the ordinance. The resolutions are items 7, 8, and 9. And there are two people that have signed up. First is Gay Dugan. Come on down, Gay. Oh, bring in the support team.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. My name is Gay Dugan, and my address is on file.
I'm Chuck Nichols. I'm the Vice Chair of the ACIC.
Lori Simpkins, Secretary of ACIC.
This evening, we'd like to just share some comments on item 7, the reorganization of the ACIC Commission. As you know, the ACIC is quite large. We have 43 seats. At any one given time over the last couple years, we've only had approximately 30 members on the commission. We've struggled to maintain a full commission, and having these openings presents some issues and an administrative burden. Lowering the number of members would allow us to sustain a full commission, and the ACIC positions would become more highly regarded and sought out by members of our community. Also, going from 8 committees to 3 will help us broaden the scope of proposals that can be limited by the current 8 committees. Committees and focus areas are broad enough that they aren't limiting and shouldn't become obsolete in the near future. The larger groups will also create more synergy and momentum. More members working on any proposal allow more input, more broader-based representation, more perspective, more manpower, doing the research, and providing coverage when committee members are absent or on vacation. We respectfully ask that you approve the ACIC reorganizational structure. It will help us move forward to be more productive and also allow us to better serve the City Council and the Mayor. Thank you.
Part of the City Council, too. Thank you.
Do you have any questions?
Any questions from anyone? Thank you very much, obviously, for all of your service, but also for your support of this. I know it came from you guys, and we appreciate the creative thinking, so thank you. All right, Lois Whitty. Commenting on item 8, I would guess, the Neighborhood Participation Program.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members. My name's Lois Whitty. I live at 750 Dudley Street. I'm in the Iber neighborhood, and I'm here in support of item 8, the funding for the Iber School Community Garden. And I just want to tell you a little bit something about the school so you can really feel good about where you're hopefully spending your money. The Iber Elementary School has a federally subsidized lunch program that involves 90% of the children at the school. It's a very high level. It's got a 40% mobility rate, meaning 40% of the children starting there in the beginning of the year won't be there at the end of the year. There'll be new kids. There is no PTA at the school. Parents have no time, have no resources to attend a PTA. So back in 2011, the Iber Neighborhood Association started to adopt the school and started planning for a community garden. Ed Kelmus, the president of the Neighborhood Association, is here. And a lot of people started working pretty hard on getting a garden, community garden at the school. And we've developed some tremendous partnerships along the way. We have the city of Lakewood, we have the U.S. Forest Service working on its behalf, Denver Urban Gardens, I'm trying to think, St. Paul's Episcopal Church, and over 45 community members are coming out in support of this garden. So it is a real opportunity to give these children a healthy place to grow food, play, be outside, and get the community involved in the school. So it's just a wonderful thing. You should feel good.
And we do.
Good.
Thank you. Thanks. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Anyone else in chambers wish to comment on any of the resolutions on the consent agenda? With that, I'll close public comment. Any comments from City Council on anything on the consent agenda? All right. With that, I would ask for a motion in a second.
Mayor Murphy, I move for approval of the council minutes, for acceptance of the minutes of boards and commissions, order all ordinances introduced on first reading to be published in the Denver Post with public hearing set for the date included in the ordinance, and for adoption of resolutions, all of which are included in the consent agenda items introduced into the record by the city clerk.
Second.
Hey. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, please cast your votes on the consent agenda. And it passes unanimously, 9-0. Any general business? Margie? Ms. Hodson, executive report.
Yes, thank you. You know, this is my pleasure to get to highlight an employee who was recently recognized by the Rotary Club of Lakewood's Community Service Award. This is their first year. It's a newly created award. And the award went to an employee named Joanne Armstrong. Counselor Roybal and Counselor Johnson and I got to talk to her and Counselor Quinn got to talk to her and meet her last week at the chili cook-off. Her name is Joanne Armstrong, and she is a records technician in our police department. She's very well liked. She's an exemplary employee in the police department, but what's really cool about her name's Joanne, and she goes by Joey. What's cool about Joey, she goes above and beyond for her community, and let me tell you a little bit about what she's done. She has done work for the Denver Dem Friends League, Cops Fighting Cancer, the Ralston House, as well as the Lakewood Police Employee Assistance Foundation. She's done things like she got a bunch of her friends in the department to help her in this creative project that involved sewing scarves and baking specialty dog and cat treats. And it was called, see if I can say this, ARF Scarf for the Denver Dumb Friends League. Then she donated some of her own services, cleaning houses, to be her service. She did this for 2 gift certificates to be auctioned off, and the proceeds going to Cops Fighting Cancer. She does, for the Ralston House, she developed this program called Chili Dog and Slider Lunch for the police department employees, and it was a fundraiser raising money for the victims of child abuse. And finally, she's also served and prepared food and other treats for her peers in the police department, with the proceeds going to the Lakewood Police Employee Assistance Foundation. So Joey's one of those silent heroes who works so hard on the clock and off the clock to really support her community. And I'd like to highlight her and congratulate her on this recent award. Let me just read one paragraph. Here's what it says about Joey. Whenever there's a need, Joey always creatively and diligently finds a way to fill it. She is an incredible and energetic resource for the police department and for the citizens of Lakewood. She rises above expected levels of service in many ways, and she always serves with a compassionate heart. So I'd like to congratulate our own Joanne, or Joey, Armstrong. Thanks.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you. On to mayor and council reports. I'll start by piggybacking on the manager's report. you know, we don't often here get universally lauded, applauded for things. And one thing, a recent item in the news, I think brought to light was the fact that this, first of all, as you just heard, our city manager supports our employees 100%, but so does the city council. And we, you know, certainly, I think they understand that. We want to reinforce the fact that the city council appreciates and absolutely supports every single one of our 900 employees. So I'm going to ask our council president to consider actually putting together just a little letter to the employees to kind of reinforce that fact. Secondly, I had alluded to this a few minutes ago. One of the things that came out of our planning session was I mentioned the campaign finance subcommittee. One of the other issues that we have to address as a result of the census and the 2010 census, which really doesn't get finalized for a long time after 2010, is by our charter, we have to take a look at readjusting our ward boundaries every 10 years, every time a census comes out. And normally in the past several decades, those readjustments have been pretty minute, a few streets here and maybe a neighborhood there that have gone back and forth. This time it's going to be a little more than minute. One of the things that happened was Jefferson County, in an effort to sort of streamline and cost cut, and I think it's a very reasonable effort on their part, actually shrunk the number of precincts from 90-some to 60-some, I think, in the county. And by law, by charter, our wards, a precinct cannot cross a ward boundary. And when there are less precincts, that makes it just a little bit more complicated. So it's obviously a very important issue, one we only have to face every 10 years. It's important enough that there will be another council subcommittee addressing that. That will be chaired by Councilor Scott Coop. They also will be starting meetings within the next, I would assume, 10 days or so. And you know, there's a lot of rules. You've got to be somewhat equal in population. What's the word? Practicable. Which you know, we want, if possible, the wards to be within 5 to 7% of each other, given some of the constraints that we have. That may be tougher this time, but we'll see how all that turns out. I just want everybody to know that that's going to be going on over the next couple of months as well. And then finally, I look forward to seeing many of you at the annual State of the City address, which is February 28th at the Sheraton Denver West Hotel. Thank you. Diana, Mayor Pro Tem.
Our board meeting's this Friday, but I think I'll let Tom talk about that. But I did want to tell the ACIC crew, thank you for bringing your proposal to us. We're happy to support it. This is your group, and we really appreciate all the work you do for us. And also to add that Cindy and I will be at your retreat on the 23rd, and that we're really looking forward to attending that, or at least part of the session. So thanks.
Cindy.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to give a brief update. We had our last RTD, elected officials briefing, on Friday morning. They had 55 elected officials briefing during the course of building this light rail, and last Friday was our last one. We got a chance to talk about the milestones along the way and know that it's on track, no pun intended, to open up on Friday, April 26th. There'll be a grand opening celebration out at Jefferson County Courthouse. And then on that particular day, the West Rail Line will be open, just the West Rail Line piece of it. It'll be free that whole entire day. And then on Saturday, April 27th, the entire Fast Track system will be open. So you can go down to Park Meadows or go downtown to this Denver Center for Performing Arts area. Just get a chance to get out there and explore. And on that particular day, we'll also have a lot of parties along the line at the various rail stops. In fact, Iberhood, one of our neighborhood organizations here, will be involved as well at the Garrison Street Station, and we appreciate that. And look forward to that day and put it on your calendar. It'll be a great day for Lakewood. We'll finally have that West Rail Line open. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Roybal.
Thank you, Mayor. I will be having my constituent meeting here Saturday at New Hope Ministries at 9:30. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Councilor Coop.
Thank you. Just a reminder that Councilor Barroway's in my Ward 2 meeting this Wednesday, 7:30 a.m. at the 40 West Arts District office at 1560 Teller Street. Thank you.
Councillor Paul.
No report.
Councillor King.
I was invited to attend the Rotary presentation to our police person, and I think sometimes we forget that the support staff in our various divisions are so extremely important. And this lady was so shy about all the things that she had done, and we were just overwhelmed. We're very fortunate to have people like that in our organization.
Councillor Quinn.
Thank you. As Councillor Wilson mentioned, we're having a Ward 5 meeting this coming Friday at 8:30 a.m. at Our Savior's Church at Jewel and Garrison, and we'll be talking about the council retreat and also the National League of Cities. I'm on the NLC Transportation Committee, and we'll talk a little bit about that as well, and of course hear any neighborhood concerns. Secondly, I'm just going to say this because I think it's important for somebody to say it. As far as the situation with Councillor Wickman, we have an obligation on council to protect our employees from inappropriate conduct, and I make no apologies whatsoever about that. That is an important obligation that we must fulfill. And the employee's story in that case differs dramatically from that of Councillor Wickman. And we cannot just simply walk away from this and say that it was just forget about the whole thing. It was clearly inappropriate conduct. I make no apologies whatsoever for bringing up this issue. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councillor Wickman.
I wanted to thank everybody for coming to our ward meeting on Saturday. Thank the mayor for coming. Had a lot of good discussion on a lot of subjects, so appreciate it for a good meeting. Thank you.
Margie?
No report.
Tim, anything? Kathy? All right. We are adjourned at 8:01 p.m. Thank you.